Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you all here today. We are here again. I'm Leslyn Keith. I'm with Lipedema Simplified, and we're having a fantastic event coming up April 17, 18, and 19, virtual event. But prior to that, we're going to be having this wonderful webinar. And so we're here to meet the person who's going to be doing that webinar with us, Brian Wiley. And I have a whole introduction for you, Brian, because there's so much cool information about you. So let me say that really quick, but thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure.
So Brian is a certified health coach, and he's also a low carb lifestyle advocate. He really uses his own struggles with obesity and his journey to health to help others make their own changes. Brian's story is amazing, and I'm definitely going to have you relate that story and what you went through to come to health. And he really helps people look at dieting, food addiction, and trying to become their healthier self. And he works with Dr. Tro in the Toward Health program. And this is Dr. Tro is a low carb doctor, and he's licensed in all 50 states. He does stuff virtually. And part of that program is people like Brian doing the coaching and supporting you. So you're not just trying to do this with, visits with your doctor. You also have that ongoing support. So Brian, I know you're going to be doing a webinar for us next Thursday on March 26th. And that's going to focus on low carb on a budget. So anybody can do this style of eating, and it's not expensive. But first, I would just like for you to relate to everybody your health journey, which is so amazing.
Okay. Yeah. So, like Leslie was saying, I'm a health coach, personal trainer at Toward Health, and I do love specializing in helping people improve their metabolic health, using a low carb and ketogenic approach. I would say, but most importantly, I'm not just a coach. I am someone who lived this. And about 18 years ago, I was struggling with my weight and my health. And honestly, I was just feeling stuck. And I did what most people do. I tried a little bit of everything, and I just kept ending up, in the same place over and over. And kind of what finally changed for me wasn't, more effort. It was actually just a different approach. And with that, I ended up losing 100 pounds doing low carb. And more importantly, I've kept it off for 16, 17 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't because I found some kind of like magic trick. It was basically, I finally understood a few things, which was hunger isn't just about willpower. The types of foods we eat matter more than calories on paper. And, I just learned if you're constantly fighting cravings, it's not a discipline problem. It's more of a biology problem.
Right.
And low carb kind of gave all that back to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it helped me regulate my appetite, stabilize my energy and blood sugar. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was constantly battling food.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other important thing is I've been working at Toward Health for 6 years now. And I found that, my story isn't unique. It's actually pretty common. And I've seen so many people have results similar to mine. It's just about people finding that right approach.
Right. Right. And so it was after you were on this journey and were losing a lot of weight through low carb that you decided to go get your health coaching certification?
Yeah, I had met Dr. Tro online at some point during our journey, and I had met him when he was actually on his low carb journey and posting about it. And we just kind of exchanged messages and kind of became friends online. And I remember watching him, during his journey, and then go from that to opening up his own practice, and then getting into, medical weight loss and metabolic care. And I just reached out to him one day and I said, hey, if there's ever anything I can do to, be a part of this, or if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. And kind of the rest was history. Eventually, he started with health coaching and got his practice up and running. And that's, when that opportunity presented itself, that's when, I went and got the certifications.
Yes. Yeah. And you're not new to our Lipedema Simplified community. You've spoken at past virtual events that we've had. And so you understand about lipedema, and it's kind of nice that Dr. Tro also understands about lipedema. So if someone is looking for a physician and support for changing to a low carb lifestyle, Toward Health is a good option for people because you could have it all done virtually. Talk about how is a virtual practice like this done? How is someone monitored? What kind of support do you get through Toward Health?
Yeah, so basically when you sign up with Toward Health, you are assigned, a physician and a health coach. And you get a scale and blood pressure cuff that comes with the program, and we can monitor all of that remotely.
Oh,
and also CGMs. If you have a CGM, we can monitor everything, with some software we have here at our practice. So we keep on top of everything, and the most popular program is 6 months. The medical weight loss, and you meet with your health coach or your doctor, once a week for the first 2 months. Then it goes to bi-weekly, and then there's a couple meetings scattered out the last 2 months. I think the thing that makes us different is we don't just don't hand you a piece of paper or a plan that says eat this, not that, right? We kind of get to the root cause of what's going on. You also have an extensive blood panel ran before you join, so we get to see everything that's going on under the hood, because sometimes there's something that shows up in the blood work that the diet has to be adjusted a little bit, things like that. But we definitely kind of tailor it to you. We figured out what your struggles are, what your triggers are, kind of your day to day, and we kind of work at your own pace. But we definitely focus on obesity, people type 2 diabetes, inflammation, and in some cases, mobility challenges. And what we focus on is simple, but it is pretty powerful. And,
yes.
We help basically, what we do is we help create a way of eating that actually works with their bodies instead of against it.
Right.
And we found that that's reducing processed carbohydrates, prioritizing protein, fat, and vegetables, and, just building something sustainable, not perfect, but something that you can do consistently.
And with all of your many areas of expertise, Brian, one thing that you brought to our community is that concept of low carb on a budget, which you're going to be doing, presenting for us in a webinar next Thursday. I think it is, did we say 6 p.m. Eastern?
Yep.
That's happening next Thursday. There'll be a link down below if you would like to register. It's a free webinar. Could you give us some little tidbits of types of things you're going to be talking about at that webinar?
Sure. So next week, I'll be covering, I think the one thing I'm going to talk about then, but I also want to mention it now is, one of the biggest misconceptions I hear all the time is, I'd love to do low carb, or I'd love to eat healthier, but it's too expensive. And I get that. Food prices are real, and people are just trying to make this work in the real world, and everything around us is becoming more expensive. But I'm going to be trying to show you how to be a smarter shopper, comparing prices, buying in bulk, using store brands and ads, sales, things like that. I'm also going to show you how to build meals around cost-effective foods
Mhm.
like ground beef, chicken, eggs, vegetables, all those things. And also how to use things that you already own as tools, like your freezer, your fridge, pantry.
Yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, I want to show you how to, give a little demonstration on how to batch cook, portion meals, and most important, like reduce a lot of waste that we accumulate sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, most importantly, also how to make it quick and simple.
Oh, yes. This is all going to be amazing information. And I think you also talk about, how to make it less expensive in the short term, because if you're in a limited budget, how do I get started right away? But also you talk about how long term your costs are going to be less,
Yeah.
which has a huge impact on people, and first there's those immediate concerns, but then how is this going to be sustainable in the long term? And it's actually going to be cheaper in the long term. You'll have fewer medical costs, less co-pays for all the doctor visits that you won't have to do, and things like that.
Yeah, and that's what that's the main thing is because most people don't fail because of like the lack of knowledge. Like you said, I just want to focus on making everything practical, affordable, and also repeatable. But I think one of the things I do that's interesting is I mainly focus on grocery stores and
Yes.
food, but I'm also going to talk about some tools and strategies where the same things that you are using to kind of tighten your budget at the grocery, you can use these tools and apply them to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Any personal items like TVs, computer, electronics, clothes, department stores. Like you can translate all the stuff to other
Personal hygiene
yeah.
items, yeah, all that stuff. Yes. And I also feel like your information, although, we're in the US, we have people come to the webinar from around the world. But this is stuff that's translatable to other countries and around the world. We're not going to have specific information about certain brands and things that are available at your local grocery stores and stuff like that. But this is information that you can translate it to your local community.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I think this can fit anywhere, any budget. I also think most things I talk about, it can save you money if you're single, married, have a large family, small family. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can save money, and
Mm-hmm.
like I said, if there's one thing we can't avoid is spending money on food, right? So,
Yes.
like I said,
Right.
that's where my main focus is. But I think once you see the presentation and the information there, you can apply that to just about any other place.
Yes. And, because our webinars are, they're more like a Zoom meeting. So everybody is there. And if you want your camera on, you can have it on. But while Brian's presenting, you'll, of course, have camera off and sound off. But it's not like a webinar where you can't communicate with the speaker. And so people will, after the presentation's over, you'll be able to, you can voice your question. You could put it in the chat during the talk. You could put your questions in the chat then. So this is a conversation. People are going to come up with their own strategies of that maybe that they've been doing that work for them. And we learn from the people who are coming to the webinar also. So I really hope that people will come and contribute your own knowledge and help us build up our own, our idea bank of everything that we can share with others.
Exactly. And that's what I would encourage people to do as well. In the chat, definitely, share your own tips and saving strategies, because I don't know them all, right? Like you could surprise me with something. Everybody always learning, always finding out new things. I learn from like the clients that I work with in the practice. I learn from them all the time, just as more than I teach, So so definitely share any tips and stuff that you have, because never know, it may end up in my next presentation.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the people listening right now says, I love quick and simple. And so, and you also speak to that as well. And that makes it more sustainable if it's not, big elaborate recipes that we're doing in order to make it low carb. You talk about how this can be quick and simple as well as not expensive.
Yeah, you got to, you will burn out real quick if you're searching the internet every day for recipes, and then you finally find a recipe, but it's got 2 or 3 ingredients that you definitely don't have in the house, but then you find out that it's not something that they regularly carry at the grocery store. Now you're looking for these specialty stores. Like I've seen people just kind of throw in the towel because they try to complicate everything, and we definitely want to avoid that, especially in the beginning. Keep it simple. Make those elaborate recipes every once in a while, but for the most part, just got to have protein and vegetables on hand and a few spices, and if you got that, you've got quite a few meals that you can interchange and keep it interesting through the week.
Right. I think this, again, that makes it more sustainable. And if you enjoy cooking, if you like following an elaborate recipe, absolutely do that. But know that you don't have to in order to be low carb and to enjoy delicious food. Quick and simple doesn't mean that it's not going to be tasty.
Right. I'll give people one tip. I think I may say it in the presentation, but since you brought it up, when we're talking about these, we'll call them involved recipes. I would say if you have an involved recipe that you like, or you're wanting to try and you'll like it, double or triple it, because it doesn't take much more time to cook up a triple batch than it does, the single. And then that way you've got leftovers, and you're just not making it right, spend all that time if you want to have it a couple of days later.
Yeah, that's your idea of batch cooking. And my sister, who does more of a carnivore way of eating, she does that on Sundays. She does a whole bunch of batch cooking, and then busy lifestyle, always at work, but she has something that she can pull out of the fridge and pack for her lunch already made and ready to go. So all this kind of stuff, it makes you more efficient. You're getting good nutrition, and it's going to help you healthy wise, but it also reduces your stress because you're not having to. Sometimes the biggest stress around eating the right way is, what am I going to make? How am I going to make it? And you take a lot of that a lot of the stress out of around eating. That's really good.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that, because that's what leads to bad eating, right? Is if you come in from work or school or whatever, and you're hungry, you want something to eat now, but you don't have nothing prepared, or you don't have nothing quick and simple to throw together. But maybe somebody maybe husband, wife, or whoever, maybe they bring pizza and it's sitting on the counter.
Yes.
What's going to happen? Like if you don't have your own options to go to in that situation, you're likely just going to eat what's ever available, because you don't want to you don't want to get an involved meal or go out and get something. You just want to, so definitely gotta.
And as a coach, you talk about how in that situation, this is not about willpower. You are your body says, I need something now. And so quite naturally, you're going to reach for what is most convenient and what's available. So that, having someone like yourself who's coaching you to understand that this is a biological reaction and not you having just poor strength and poor willpower.
Yeah, I don't think any of us in this practice talk or say, we need to use willpower as a tool. I don't even willpower is the only time we talk about willpower is how it doesn't work and it fails you every time.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we build our strategies in other areas so that we don't even have to consider whether or not we have enough willpower to do what we want to do. So I'm so thrilled to have you here, and I'm so thrilled to have you give us this webinar next week. It is a prelim to our Heart to Heart conference that's happening April 17 to 19. There's links for that down below. It's all virtual. And also keep in mind for Brian's webinar that he's doing on Thursday, the 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern, that you will get the replay. So, but you have to register. So register, even if you're not available at that time, you will get the replay. You can get replays also for our conference. That is going to be an upgrade to a premium membership, or not a membership, but a registration for the conference. So keep that in mind, that you don't have to be available for the whole 3 days for that. So think about that. Be there for the free webinar with Brian next Thursday, and then sign up for our event coming up April 17 to 19. Brian, thank you so much for the work that you do and for doing this webinar for us.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to spread the word on it. I think it's very important, and I did want to. I hope I'm not spoiling a surprise here, but I just want to say anybody that is planning on showing up, because I don't remember how long it's up on the screen at the end, but anybody that gets to the end of the presentation, we're going to have a QR code where we're offering anybody that scans that free premium access to our app for a month. And if you're curious about Toward Health or low carb, there's a ton of resources. There's a huge community on there. You can take that month and poke around and look and see what we have to offer.
Oh, great. Yeah. So stay to the end. There might even be something that would be for us for signing up for our virtual event on April 17 to 19. So come join us on next Thursday and find out, stay to the end and get all the cool links and resources and information. Brian, thank you again for being here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And we'll see everybody next time. We have another speaker introducing you to and learning more about our upcoming events.